There you go. All right, so this is ready.
Just trying to watch out for, we only got like 2 inches before we hit the...
All right, this is as far as I'm gonna be able to go in this. Dirty engine bay, that's for sure.
A dirty girl.
All right, so it's yet another day, and so motor is out, as you guys saw in in the last video. So the plan now is I'm not gonna repaint this whole bay. As far as the factory paint, it still looks decent. I think once we clean everything up, it should look a lot better. And I'm gonna remove the battery tray. If you look, there's a lot of rust on here. I'm hoping the majority of this is just the tray, and underneath is cleaner, but we'll see. I did get some rust prevention spray. Same thing with over here. I'm gonna clean that up with a wire brush. It's not horrible, and I do want to keep this as factory as possible. So let me grab the hose and start washing this down. Alright, so now we are hitting it with just Dawn soap, which to be honest is actually working really well. The grease, for the degreaser, obviously you're going to want to use that for like the really hard stuff, but once we start getting on the paint, the actual Dawn soap does wonders. So we're getting all up in here. This was already clean to begin with, but just to kind of add that extra touch. It's not gonna be like perfect, but we're gonna get it as clean as possible. So for the most part, everything looks squeaky clean. Again, it's not perfect, but as far as everything being completely washed down and all the grease gone, that's kind of what we were aiming for. So now we're gonna use the air to get all the like sensor, all my plugs dry here, and this will come out. So again, that's an ISO right now. That will be gone. We got all in the nooks and crannies to get it as clean as possible. One more step complete. Alright, welcome back. This is a day 4. I can't really remember anymore. But yesterday we put in the clutch master cylinder and brake pedal, or clutch pedal. So that's all done. I kind of wanted that out of the way before dropping the motor in. I will address this later. I'll just have to cover the motor up because I want to cut the majority of this out because of all these holes here where the battery tray was, and also obviously the rust, and it's pretty flimsy already. And then maybe scuffing this down a little bit and getting some paint on there. But I'm gonna clean it up a little bit more over here and wipe stuff down. There are some shavings over here that I'm gonna clean up as well. So, but once that's done, we will be moving a lot of this stuff around. So I got a bunch of all the parts for the swap over here. And my main concern right now is resealing the shifter, so that way there's no oil leaking out of here. Looks like it already kind of started over here. And then also replacing the springs, the helper springs that bring it back to neutral. I think it's called the neutral return springs, and I can tell it's kind of loose, so I'll show you guys what that looks like. To get this on my hoist, I did order some MazWorks engine brackets. But yeah, let's go ahead and put these on and get this ready to lift up a little bit so I can access the clutch. Alright, so I like to put a bunch of like rags or old t-shirts, and I have like this little seat cushion so that while this sits on top and I get everything ready, she's not scratching up the valve cover. Alright, so as you can see, the pilot bearing removal tool was just not working. I've had this problem before using that tool. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So what I'm going to do is actually something my dad taught me a long time ago. It's similar to the bread technique, but basically instead of using bread, I'm going to use grease. And I don't know if you can see this, but I basically put electrical tape to make it so it barely fits in there, and I'm actually using the end of a club. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill that up with grease and hammer it out, and it should pop right out. We'll see. Now you obviously want to be careful using this technique when you have your flywheel already on, because you don't want any grease on that. Just make sure if you do this, do it before you put the flywheel. I don't want to untorque all these, so I'm just going to do it with the flywheel there. Alright, so I just got to put more grease in there. If you look, she's out about halfway now. There we go. So careful because this is kind of soft. There we go. And just like that, she is out. But now I gotta clean the flywheel again because I did get some grease on there. Okay, so I got the new one here. The other one wasn't too bad. There was definitely some play, which is normal because obviously when you run the pilot bearing, this will deteriorate over time. Since we're in here, might as well replace everything. And 15 millimeter fits perfectly on this, so we'll use that to push her through. Yeah, just like that. So just a hair under that lip. So the person I bought the motor from said the flywheel was brand new, which you can see it is new. You can still see the lathe marks on there. There are some heat spots where it did get hot. Nothing too bad, and when you feel it, it's not raised. If I were to scuff this up, I'd probably get rid of it, but she's good. Let's get the clutch disc and pressure plate on. Alright, so the torque specs 25 to 33 on these for the clutch disc, sorry, the clutch pressure plate to flywheel. So I always like to go in the middle, so I'm going to do 28 foot-pounds. And to torque this down, you don't really need anything special. I just put a bolt through one of the transmission holes and then a box wrench. Just kind of brace it up against there, and that should stop her. Yep, so now I can torque this down. Alright, so after a bunch of finagling, we got the last motor mount in. Motor is set. Ryder is going to go ahead and put the last nut on the motor mount. And we can remove that and see what she looks like.
Don't.
Can you reach it?
I can't, I got it.
Alright, so let's remove this stuff and see what it looks like.
Jeez.
Oh my gosh. Finally.
Let me do this thing off.
Yeah, well, let's remove that first.
Yeah, I'm loosening it off so I can.
Oh yeah. Alright, let's see what it looks like in there. I need to wash it again though. Which side?
It's over here. It's almost.
Oh, which one's the shorter side? No, I don't know that side. Alright.
After how long?
Oh my goodness. Alright, go ahead. Get that off. It's all like mangled. Oh my god. Look at that freaking thing in there. We want to see the whole motor in the car, not just the valve cover.
Quiet, please. I'm revealing it now.